Welcome to Hooking Up and Tracking Down. I'm Gary McCoy. Along with us, the Ranger Pro Staffer, he is Steve Graff. Mike Eccles, the old mud hen in the house. What? He's pointing at what? He's
pointing at his sail.
Is he playing to the camera there?
I wanted to make sure they knew it was me.
Yeah. I'm at it.
Yeah. He didn't get recognized enough, so he had to point to himself.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't have pom-poms. A big megaphone. That's me. Look at him. His face is all red right now.
He hates it when we call him down.
That's every week.
Hey, this segment brought to you by Bayou Outdoors Supercenter, Mustang Survival, Daiwa Rods and Reels, and BioBore Fuel Treatment. Hey, BioBore, I'm about used up. I use that stuff in everything.
Have you?
Yeah.
About out?
Yeah, about out.
Well, let's see. Our contract still got 6 more months.
I know. I'm just telling you, I'm addicted. That's good stuff.
Oh, dude.
And
again, we can't. Our show can't go on without people like that. And we want to thank BioBoard. Not only are they a monetary sponsor, but they also send us product, and we give it away at some of our live remotes.
Well, that stuff's going to have to stop.
Yeah. What are you doing with all this sharing?
Here we go.
With you?
Here we go. That's our problem.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Your weed eater, your lawnmower, your outboard motor, your vehicle. I mean, there's nothing anymore that's safe from ethanol.
No.
And BioBore will help combat any of those issues.
And they even got diesel treatment. I mean, they have
I know that.
For motorhomes or diesel trucks or whatever. You can use it in that as well. So
no, but the fact is, you don't have to use it in your vehicle because the gas doesn't stay in the tank that long.
Exactly, unless you got a vehicle that sits up for a while. You're right. Yeah. Like my daughter's Honda sits up.
I'm going to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, but it's also
that's the reason you're running out. You put it in Julie's blender
with margaritas. She's making margaritas with it.
We'll have a small town throwdown.
Real quick,
take the Blanchard out of that boy.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Real quick, Harry Watson, a local angler here in Shreveport, they're doing seminars at Academy Sports in Bossier every Saturday for the next few weeks from 2 to 4. And Harry's the guy kind of in charge of that. They're one of his sponsors, and Academy's agreed to let him host those events at the Bossier Academy. Now, again, that's Bossier over in North Bossier there.
Outside or inside?
Just off airline.
Or do you know?
I think they're inside.
Okay.
I think it's in the back section. Matter of fact, they've got RSVP'd for this week. This weekend, over 35 anglers have already RSVP'd that they are coming to this seminar.
Oh, wow.
So
in that back room?
In the back room. I assume it's in the back room. I would think so. They would set that up back there for all that.
Yeah.
35 anglers to speak or 35 people to listen?
To come listen. And he's got 2 or 3 guys lined up.
So it's kind of like a classroom environment?
Yeah, it is a classroom environment.
Yeah. I like that.
Yep. I might be speaking one week at some point, yeah. Nobody will show up. Would be no RSVP for that one. I'm going to talk about the show.
Steve's going to do how to hold the net.
Dip net procedure 101.
You're going to do like they do at church. You bring a canned good, you get to save your chair.
There you go. That's a good one. I like that.
You're going to be giving it to the Shreveport Bossier Rescue Mission.
Yeah. Well, after my trip to Red River yesterday, that's about all I'm going to be worth.
What we started right here, I got to brag real quickly. Friday was July the 4th. I saw State Representative Jeff Thompson. We were at the In God We Trust rally in Bossier, and I had a chance to visit with him. And remember last year, the big stink, that all started at Bellevue Meat with the rescue mission.
Feed the Hungry.
The Feed the Hungry, the Hunters for the Hungry program. I had an opportunity to visit with Jeff. They were looking for different ways that they could fund that. Because now that they've made it to where it could never be outlawed again, they want to propel that into the next level, and they have come up with the state license plate that will be a Hunters for the Hungry.
Oh, cool! State
license plate, a Louisiana license plate.
There you go.
And Jeff says he's thinking that they will be available as early as next month, as early as August. Now, you're going to have to go up there and you'll have to request one, and you'll turn in your old license plate, and they'll give you a new one.
Right.
So be on the lookout for that. That Hunters for the Hungry.
It doesn't mean
you're
hungry as a hunter. You're just...
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. That's why I hunt. I'm hungry.
Is it going to be kind of like the the little blue tag you put for handicap?
No, it'll be like the black bear one.
Black bear. Okay, I've never even got a black bear license plate.
I've never seen a black bear.
Or the pelican. Yeah. Those are cool though. They look good.
But this will be a Hunters for the Hungry, and you know where that's going.
Speaking of license plates, Go get your fishing license. If you
Oh,
are
yeah.
still
Yeah.
fishing
Yeah.
and you have
Guilty.
not renewed,
Yeah.
go get your fishing license. Hunting license are out already, and all the way down to last week you could start buying, this week, your federal duck stamp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. So dove season's 45 days away,
Yeah,
something
right
like
around the
that.
corner.
Can you get
That's
the
federal. Don't go out there without them.
Can you get the state stamp at the post office too, or do you have to get that
It's
like?
the state stamp.
It's not even a
No,
stamp anymore,
it's
is
the
it?
federal you have to get at the post office.
No,
No.
you can get the federal at Walmart.
No.
Or,
Oh, can you
or
really?
Academy.
Yeah, Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about state stamp. Actually, one of the good things about getting old is, well, first
You don't
off,
have to buy that stuff
you haven't
anymore.
died.
Yeah.
That's one good thing about it. So, is
Smell about the
We're glad
same.
you're here, Mike.
That's right. That's right. Well,
They smell the same, but
yeah, well,
better death.
better to be seen than be viewed. Anyway, is after when you turn 60, your license, you just walk in there and hand them $5,
Yeah.
and they give you a thing of stuff about 6 feet
47
long.
pound
You know,
license.
it's like folding a Korean road map trying to get it back in your bill.
I got mine in this week,
So,
and it's ridiculous.
But it's everything, and you just tell them. She says, "You do the hippo hunting? Hippo hunting?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I do the hippo too."
hey, you better have that HIPAA on there if you're going to dove hunt. You don't even realize that it's totally free. But if you're going to dove hunt, you better have that HIPAA on there because
Yep.
if you don't have the HIPAA certification, you're not fully licensed to hunt a migratory game bird.
That's right.
Really?
And it's a free thing. All is apparently it's just
They
it's some
they
kind of
ask
a
you
re-
the question. It's a survey.
Yeah.
How many
You don't
gooses?
even have to
No,
take part in the
I
survey.
did not know that.
Yeah, how many gooses did you kill last year? How many ducks? How many gallinules? I don't even know what a gallinule is.
That's why they ask you
Yeah.
that when you
It's a survey.
online.
Yeah.
Okay, and I do that. I fill it out.
That's
you know?
to get your HIPAA certification. And who knows what it's for?
Yeah. I always wondered what that was. Well,
That's
I know.
it. See, now
It's
you know.
to justify
You learn
somebody's
so
job.
much on this program.
I'm just telling you.
Good God.
Hey, we're going to learn something today. We got Greg Hackney coming up on the show.
Oh, man. Can't wait to have old Hack Attack.
Yeah. Also, today's show, of course, we're going to visit with our buddy Johnny Geis again. He took my mama fishing last Thursday and
Yeah.
my uncle.
She'll never be the
them.
same,
I'm
huh?
hey, she's ruined.
Oh, yeah.
She'll never go back to Lake Erling. She got a boat in the water at Lake Erling, and I promise you, she'll drive right past it, headed to
She's
Fort.
looking for lots at Fork right
Yeah,
now.
I'm just telling you. Also on today's show, Louisiana wildlife agent Walter Courton.
No.
No,
not gonna be-
change of plan.
Rub that out.
Yep. Mike Woods.
Mike Woods,
He
yes.
is director of inland fisheries.
Uh-huh.
And
Scratch Walter.
Like Mike Woods Park, Mike Woods?
Mike Woods that we've talked to before.
Okay.
Scratch Walter.
No, he probably
You
doesn't
wouldn't
want
believe how much trouble I had finding somebody to speak on that segment's
Cormorants.
going on the cormorants, the issue of how devastating, if so, the
Are they
cormorants are.
nervous or are they just afraid that they'll deviate from the federal guidelines?
Apparently, there are jobs and people and bosses and stuff that if you are not well versed and considered knowledgeable and expert on something, they will tell you you cannot go on public
Never
radio
stopped
and
us.
speak, which goes totally
We wouldn't
against.
have a show.
That's right. Like I say, I've never let the lack of facts get in the way of repeating a rumor or telling a story.
Amen.
Facts mean
Preach on,
nothing to
brother.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we
these
should,
guys,
amen.
I went through 3 different people whose boss, all the way to Washington, said, "No, you cannot speak on this
wow.
this international intergalactical radio show that we've got here."
And when you send me that text that waiting on word from Washington, I'm thinking
That's
some
exactly
guy named
right.
Washington,
That was
not Washington D.C., but
No,
you're talking
that
Washington.
was Walter Cotton in
Wow.
Monroe, federal guy,
Yeah.
and Phuket Obama told him he couldn't
scared.
speak. So I said
They're
from
scared.
Washington, no. But Mike Woods is going to come on and talk about the issue with cormorants, and he even knows about the public hunting they had for the cormorants on Santee Cooper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
then, since we have gone through last fall, shotgun and rifle expert
Yeah.
Matt Spoon with Max Perry Rings.
Right,
We
right.
just kind of skipped over pistols. And we
Yeah.
have got a guy, Jack Rothell, most people know him as Lucky Jack, who was on the sheriff's department and the sheriff's department pistol team, could shoot your eye out with a BB gun
Yeah.
or a pistol. He's going to come on and talk about how to pick a pistol for your wife.
Yeah, Gary's got pajamas that says that'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
And
Daisy BB gun, baby.
and my big question with him was, why can I kill a deer with a bow, a duck with a shotgun, a deer or elk with a rifle, and I couldn't hardly shoot myself with a pistol?
Yeah.
I'm horrible. I'm horrible.
I tried to kill a beaver when I first got my little pistol.
Yeah.
I was sitting on my boat dock. He'd come right by my boat dock every evening about dark.
Yeah.
I said, I'm fixing to get this sucker. I emptied the whole gun, probably 10 rounds, and I ain't hit that sucker yet.
Just barely hit the water,
He ain't
huh?
from here to that camera from me.
I shot 9 rounds at a skunk less than 15 feet away and never splashed dirt on it. I mean, in a cornfield.
I need to get Jack to take me out there and show me how to shoot.
Anyway,
I shoot a rifle and a shotgun all day long, but boy, you're right. A pistol is different.
Jack will, be a good resource for that.
well, that's the reason we're going to have him on.
Great
Stands to
softball
it.
player too.
Yeah.
He's left-hander.
Yeah.
Crazy too.
He
They should have called him crazy.
he
Jack.
loves Tim Fletcher. So we got to get some inside scoop on Fletch.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Mike, also, you got a report for us on the Ram Slam.
Well, we had the first Ram Slam tournament 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The next one is this coming Sunday. We've not had one since, so I don't really have a report.
Yeah, I thought they were
How
back to back.
many are
That was
you
my
got?
bad.
16 went home, and 16 teams advanced.
So you'll have eight?
8 brackets. Actually, I found out Sunday evening that one of those teams that advanced is going to have to back out, so the team that they were paired against is going to get a bye.
Oh, wow.
I thought he was going to let me and you in.
They don't know.
Yeah.
We could have
can't
filled
do
in
it
for
with
you.
dude.
No.
We could have been a wild
We'll
card.
just
guy.
pay
We've
the
been a
extra
wild
entry
card
fee.
team.
You're not going to jump in after it's all over and buy
How do
your
we
way
get buy
in with
into
money.
the final round?
Well, it's going to cost you a bunch of money. You can buy in with me. It's going to be expensive. Like I always say, I ain't cheap, but I can be bought. But anyway,
Where y'all going?
We don't know until
Oh.
Saturday evening about 2:30 at Bayou Outdoors. I'll draw the lake. It'll either be Cross Lake, Bistineau,
Anywhere but Caddo.
anywhere but Caddo out of the 5,
Yeah.
the river or Black Bayou at Halston. Be one of those 4 places. They won't know Saturday evening at 2:30.
By the way, 4th of July weekend, last weekend, I went to Cypress Black Bayou. My sister-in-law lives on that lake. I've never been on it before. Went fishing early that morning and caught a few fish. That's a neat little lake, man.
Yeah, I fish
like
it all the
that.
time.
Good grass, got good cuff.
Yeah.
I was impressed at that little place.
Let me tell you what. You get over there with a wacky worm, any kind of a trick worm, anything along those lines.
Trick worm, that's what I called them on.
Dude, let me tell you what. You can wear them out. And at times, you will get into some big fish over there.
Oh, really? I caught a 4-pounder on a spook that morning.
That's big for you.
That is big. Hey, we had to get the net.
Hey, when he catches one that won't fall through the net, you know that was a good one.
J.R. Burke, I believe, caught several over 7 and 8 pounds this year on Cypress.
I don't doubt it. It's a good-looking lake.
really
I really
is.
enjoyed it. It's a nice lake.
I know Chad Kelly has caught several out of Cypress over 10 pounds. I mean, and his son Brendan is hammering them over there as well.
It's not too big a lake. It's perfect for this. If you live out there in that area, it's a great place just to go wet a hook for one evening. I mean, heck, you can cover the lake in probably 4 hours. It's just a great place to
You
go.
know what? We need to do a segment on night fishing lakes because my favorite one is Merval in Carthage.
Oh, really?
Dude, I think Merval was the first lake they ever put Florida bass in.
It is one of them, but I bet you say your favorite lake. I bet you have not been there in 25 years.
Oh, I'll bet it's been 15. I bet it's been 15.
That long?
I do
They
not
say
know why that
Toledo-
lake kind of fell off the face of off the map.
Yeah.
They say Toledo Bend at night, the last 2 or 3 years, has been on fire.
Oh.
at night.
You know our old buddy Steve McKenzie. Mm-hmm. Steve still guides down there on occasion when he's not
Does he?
doing a lot of drywall
Still
work.
guide?
Yeah, and he says he's got a couple of spots, some docks and stuff in Lannan and San Miguel that at night are 10 times better than he's ever had anything during the day.
I got a great idea. We can have a midnight version of hooking up and tracking down one night.
Yeah. You up for it, Stink Bait? He says he'll get up.
What about Mike? Is Mike in?
It'll have to be recorded at lunch.
You have to do that one from the bar.
Yeah. Hey, I can barely stay in this chair, but let's sit on a stool and do this show.
You sound like my grandfather. My grandfather told me one time, after years and years of deer hunting, he finally had to quit drinking, and he came back to the deer camp one morning. It was really cold, and he says, I don't know how you boys do this sober.
Let's take a break.
Johnny Geis is up in just a minute. You got to hang around to find out what's going on right now. Our Lake Fork report is next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration. offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon shallow water anchor system. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452. You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter or fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as traps, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? That's like wearing your high school Letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
You're hooking up and tracking down on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Nichols Department Stores, Toledo Fiberglass, Paul's Farm and Garden, and J&J Exterminating. Now back to the best outdoor radio show west of the Mississippi and east of the Rockies with Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and the one and only Mike Eccles.
And when it comes to fiberglass repair, nobody does it better than Al Drewitt and the guys at Toledo Fiberglass, located just west of Toledo town. Al's crew is nothing short of first class. Let's face it, if you own a boat, it's just a matter of time before hull damage will occur. And these guys know what it takes to make your boat look like brand new all over again. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull. That's an application that not only increases the performance, but also makes your boat tough as nails. So the next time you suffer fiberglass damage, trust the guys at Toledo Fiberglass to get you right back on the water.
No better people than Al Drewitt.
Oh, man. And you know, he's in such a terrible location. He's so hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can find the Pendleton Bridge, you can find Al.
And they've worked on one or two boats in their lifetime.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, because Toledo is so easy on your boat.
Yeah. All these waterways are easy on your boat. Good God.
Second to Red River.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Yeah. Red River's brutal now.
Hey, Johnny Geis. We've got Johnny Geis on the phone with our Lake Fork report. Johnny, you know, how would you rate Lake Fork as far as, you know, safety and the ability to navigate, you know, in comparison to like Red River or Toledo Bend?
Well, we've had such fluctuation in water; it's nowhere near as dangerous as Red River, obviously. But I'm not talking about on the main river itself, but through some of the cuts. But it's a little better now. We're only 3 foot low. I kind of bumped one this morning. I've been through 100 times, so you never know when it's going to happen. But got to be a little careful.
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you, brother.
What's that? You
know, my mom and my uncle and several people came fishing with you last Thursday. You put my mama in the hospital.
How's that? She caught so many fish?
Honestly, she had to go Monday to Healthcare Express to get all the fluid drained off of her elbow, and the doctor had to tell her, he says, it's from all those big fish you were catching, and he wasn't joking.
Well, guys, if y'all could have just been here the last 45 minutes sitting here waiting for this call, but I bet we've just boated 20. I just took the hook out of one right when you came on live right here. I know it sounds like a broken record, but you've been here and seen it, and right about this time of day, it starts every day.
My daughter, I'm telling you, is just so excited. She cannot wait. And her buddies who have never done this before, they're going to have the time of their life. I can't wait. This is going to be fun.
Mom and them, and y'all kind of had some bad weather last week, last Thursday. Y'all weren't able to get out on the water till about 9 o'clock in the morning, were you?
It was a little strange day. We had a northerner come in, hard north wind, which you don't have this time of year, a little lightning, and it was a slow morning. It was slow this morning to 10 o'clock, but these fish, I think they're reading the solar tables right now, because when it's time, and I told my guys, I got Pastor Steve Robinson, his brother Tim Robinson from Shreveport.
You tell Tim to get back to the car business. He's not
Tim's
supposed to be taking a day off.
right now, so it's jumping. So they're having a guide themselves. We're in the same place we were last Wednesday when you called, and boy, this must be my luck, because these fish are turned on every time I get on the station with you guys.
All right, now as the summer progresses, how much harder is it for you to try to come up with, the big old live brim that you try to use for bait?
Well, I'm not using any salties now. I'm catching bluegill.
Right.
We pulled out in front of the marina this morning, and by 8 o'clock, we probably had 50 just the right size little bluegill in the box, and I think we're down to about 8 or 10 right now. So many fish we caught.
Wow.
We're well over 25 fish this morning, and catching bait's kind of part of fun. I took a family out this weekend, 2 dads and 3 little girls, and one of them was 8 years old, and she caught brim, and then she caught her 2 giant catfish and 3 or 4 bass around 6 pounds.
Wow.
Now, Johnny, are the black salties producing better than the brim, or one better than?
I definitely like the brim better this time of the year. Just fool the salties if I don't have time to catch any, and but the bluegill right now. There's another one. The bluegills are just.
He had 4 last week. The record's 4. Yeah, the record's 4. You got a top 4.
I see a pattern here, Johnny. Listen to me. Is it just a coincidence that you're going to run out of brim about 11:45? That's exactly it.
When the marina's making a really good cheeseburger with his name on it at noon.
Yeah, he's going to run out of brim.
You don't ever want to put 100 in there. You starve to death.
Well, give us a little bit of report. Are we seeing any grass in the old haunts? Some of the places, some of the guys that just really want to go try it another way.
We are. There's a good lily pads growing now. We've got some hydrilla going down by some of the big water down by the dam on the kind of the east side. This morning I saw Keith Combs, who set the world's record here. He was at the marina, so he's out on the lake today, and Mark Heron. So we had 2 or 3 pros that just showed back up. I guess they didn't have a tournament. They wanted to come back and enjoy some of this.
Now, Johnny, last week we talked about, have you tried any night fishing? This coming weekend is full moon. Are you thinking about trying to go out there at night this weekend maybe and try the night fishing thing?
I'm probably not. I'm booked every day and just too tired to get out there and do it. I mean, it's too you just don't mess with success right now, and it's too a routine to come out and catch 20 to 30 every day that average 5 to 6 pounds. And
I figured all we need to do, guys.
Okay.
Johnny, just give us your GPS coordinates. Me, Mike, and Gary will go out there at night and try that. We'll let you know if it works.
We'll shoot video. We'll post it on your Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're doing the GoPro this morning experience, so we're going to have some good videos to put on my website. So
there you go.
On my Facebook page.
Speaking of that website, it's lakeforkbigfish.com. lakeforkbigfish.com. And when you're looking for Johnny on the Facebook page, it's really easy. Johnny Geis, Guice, Johnny Geis Fishing Guide. And you've gotten really good. You've gotten high tech at that stuff. You're putting videos and pictures up just about every day.
I am on every trip. I take all the pictures of the customer's fish, put them on a link, Dropbox link, and send it to them, as well as posting just some of the larger ones to the Facebook page every day. And that kind of keeps people updated, and it's helped out business as well. But I tell you what, guys, in August it's going to get hot. I don't think the fish are going to stop. Let me check the water temperature right now. Today it's up to 86, and it's only been 83, so the water's starting to get warmer. And last year when it got about 90, there were so many fish stacked in there you almost could walk on top of it.
Wow.
So I'm ready for it to get on out and get hot, and I'll probably run some 6-hour trips in August at a little bit lower price for our listeners. So if somebody wants to go, let's book them up and just get a taste of it.
Give us that phone number again, Johnny.
Phone number is 972-800-3882. That's 972-800-3882. Steve and Tim came with me last year about this time. I think we caught like 42 or 45, but we're going to beat that record today, I know. So it's a great time to get to Lake Fork and see what everybody's talking about on catching big fish deep and get a taste of it.
You know, Steve and Tim won not ours, but the TNT tournament out on Cross Lake this year. I think had like 28 pounds one evening in 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, they showed me the picture this morning. That's a big string of fish, and everybody asked the question, well, will this work on Cross Lake? And I guess my question, if there's 26-pounders in one spot big as a boat, I guess it will, but I just don't know if you find them that bunched up there.
Right. Maybe around the bridge. I think around the bridge you might find them.
Well, I mean, you're bound to. You might not be able to find 6 or 8 pounders stacked up, but you might be able to find 4 pounders stacked up.
Right.
Johnny, can you fish with a brim too big? Because some of the ones that Steve and I used, I'd have filleted those brims.
Oh, exactly.
Can you? Have you ever had one that was like, there's no way?
Yeah, if I can't get my hand around them, I don't put those in the live well. And right now, we've cherry-picked the smaller ones, and it seems to be a quicker bite with them right now. And we've got on some probably 5-inch wide brim, and they're a little bit slower to bite, but it will catch a better fish. It's just not as easy to get the hook set on them. But I've got them a good hole to take them right after lunch, where it's a little bit of trees, and we'll drop some big brim down and try to get a 10-pounder.
LakeForkBigFish.com, LakeForkBigFish.com, and that phone number one more time for Johnny Geis.
All right, there goes the 5th one on. So we did break the record. Get ready. It's 972-800-3882. Thanks, guys. I got to help them fish these brim up. I'm getting hungry.
All right, man. Thank you, Johnny.
Cheeseburger calling his name.
I'm telling you.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you, Johnny. Hey, seriously, Mama had to go to Healthcare Express the other day. They had to drain fluid off of her elbow.
How many did they catch?
I think they had a slow day. Yeah. They only wound up catching 25 over 5 pounds.
Now, I want y'all to think about this.
What?
Can you imagine doing that every day?
Of your life.
Every day.
That's the way you make a living.
That's
when
what
you
he
wake
does.
up in the morning,
Yeah.
it's your job to go put somebody on 40 fish between 6 and 11 pounds.
You're putting on a headset. He's putting on sunscreen.
Yeah.
know?
There's something wrong with that picture. I'm just telling you. I'm going to quit this job.
Oh, jeez.
There's got to be a better way.
He's got to have some help.
Hey, we're gonna talk to the guy who might be able to help him out. Greg Hackney.
Yeah.
Elite Series Pro Greg Hackney. He is next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Hack attack.
Rolling on the river of love.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as trap, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecour Bridge. Too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and your heating and air conditioning system is burning holes in your paycheck? You need to call Luke at Guy Heating and Air.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49. has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
Hooking up and tracking down is on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Toledo Bend Lake Country, Commercial Power Equipment, Ranger Boats, and Bob Seeley Outdoors, home of the $1 million Big Bass Splash. Take it away, guys.
You see that picture on Johnny Geist's Facebook page? Yeah. There's Bob.
I like her hat.
Yeah. See, that's how you get water on the elbow, fluid on the elbow, catching toads like that.
I can't tell you.
I'm just telling you. You know, people will go. I had buddies that went to Caddo Lake over the weekend, and a couple of other guys went to Cross, and they said, "Man, we were hammering them." Said really caught some nice fish both on Caddo and Cross, and said, "You know, it was just amazing that." You know, we had, I want to say one of the guys, they said their biggest five was like 18 pounds. Somebody else said my biggest five was 22 pounds, which, you know, that's respectable in anybody's term.
No.
Hey, biggest five, best five, most average five.
Right.
When you go with Johnny Geist, 29, 30 pounds.
Yeah. We
32 pounds.
We average at least 6 pounds of fish.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you're talking about 30 pounds.
30 pounds of fish.
You know.
For best five.
Beat that.
Yeah.
And I mean, and he does that every day.
You know, things are sporadic, but there have been more big fish caught on Caddo Lake this year than I have heard of in probably the last 5 years.
Right.
I don't know if it has to do with the extended spring that we had, staying cooler longer, whatever, but there's been more 8, 9, and 10-pound fish caught on Caddo, I bet you, than there has been in the last 5 years.
Real quick, before we get to Greg Hackney, I want to play this little clip right here. Greg will know what this is. I'm sure Greg can hear us. Greg can hear us, right? So, Greg, listen to this while we play this.
You got the G-Man right here at the Quantum Exo booth. That's right. And you're looking at Hackney, my boy Hackney, my Louisiana redneck buddy. And I know what you're thinking. What these two been up to for the last couple of years? Let me tell you, folks, it's not easy designing all of Van Dam's quality products that he gets. His Signature Series stuff, me and this guy right here, countless hours on him. Greg, tell him exactly what envisioned you to make his cranking rod.
You know, hours, staying up late, days, night without any sleep, just, you know, to come up with something that he could catch him with. And I think I finally got it right.
Well, looking over the last couple of years and the reels you built, did you slow them down intentionally, or was it something that you just come to you in a deer stand?
You know, it's one of those deals. I feel like I have perfected Van Dam to a point right now that he cannot be beaten. He's the best right now he's ever been, and it's took me years to get him to that point. And I don't know now with the new Exo.
With this, what are we going to do with him now?
He may be unstoppable.
See, we designed the lightest, and I say we, Greg and I, in hunting, duck hunting camp, small camp, Louisiana, nothing real, not 6,000-8,000 feet blind or something, you know. But we designed the lightest product we've ever had, the smoothest, the fastest, and we give it to King Kong. By the way, did I mention we're not real smart?
And with that, we bring on Greg Hackney.
We've created a monster.
That's horrible.
Welcome to the show, Greg Hackney. How are you, bro?
I'm good.
Where are you right now?
I'm sitting in the parking lot in Gonzales, Louisiana at the Office Depot.
Hey, look at you. So you
Office Depot.
Yeah, he's getting a little home time.
Yeah, he's having to do some honeydews.
I need some. I'm coming to get some printer cartridges, actually.
So, question here: now that you've developed Kevin Van Dam into this unstoppable monster, what's next? I mean, you gonna throw some help, my buddy Steve Graff's way, or what?
There you go.
Well, you know, not everybody can be helped.
I've been abused today.
When you can't go any farther.
You better go back to the drawing board, Greg.
Let me run through a couple of the things that Greg Hackney can add to his resume. 3 first-place finishes, 9 class, or excuse me, been to the Classic a number of times. 11 times. 42 top 10 finishes. Bass earnings, $1.5 million. You've been hanging right there. And you've done this in a relative short time. In the money, 77% of the time, 46% of the time, top 20.
That's insane.
And you want to talk about somebody else being unstoppable, dude? When I look up and I see that I'm trying to share water with Greg Hackney, do I just fold up and go back to the house?
No, I just I guess you say I've had a very blessed career, and but the thing about it is, regardless of how well you do, there always seems like there's somebody out there doing better. And our anglers and the guys I'm fishing against now, I thought they were good when I started, but it still just surprises me. It's still always you just never know what they're going to do next, and it's so funny. It's just like in a short period of time, I've been doing this relatively, I guess pretty short career, about 10 years now, and man, how things have just, it's almost, they went supersonic from the time I started. I like it, again, goes back to my fishing tackle, my rod, my reel, everything, my boat, my motor, my electronics is the best it's ever been, and by far the anglers have been right along with that, keeping pace with all of our equipment.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I was
even people on that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You're the guest.
Well, the deal is, it's just like a few tournaments we've had this year, and my father, of course, is always been a huge fan of mine, and just a huge fan of the sport. Says that he believes if we stay 1 or 2 more days on most of the lakes we go to, he thinks we would catch everything that lives there. It's almost got to that point, man.
They didn't even leave none for seed.
It's just like they're going to catch every bass that lives in the lake. Like used to where, used to you could figure if you caught a 3-pound average, and everywhere you went, like on every lake we went to in the country a year, you'd be in contention to win Angler of the Year. Now you go catch a 3-pound average, chances are you will not draw a check in an event. We very seldom ever have a tournament where 15 pounds a day will even get you paid.
Why is that? Why is that, Greg? Is that because the fisheries are that much better, or that you guys have gotten that much better?
Well, I think it's kind of twofold. I honestly believe, and I don't know if it's global warming or what it is, but because our seasons, with the exception last year, we have more of a normal winter. But before that, for the last 10 years, overall our winters are a lot milder. I don't know if our fish are having a longer growing season or what, and their numbers are better and the size are better. I do think the anglers are the best they've ever been, but our climate's changing without a doubt. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's just something that happens or what, but these fish are growing bigger on these lakes. I heard y'all say that about Caddo earlier. Toledo Bend right now is probably as good or better than it's ever been. Without a doubt, on trophy-sized fish, it's the best it's ever been.
Well, look what they did at Fork.
It's never had as big giants in it as it does now.
Yeah, Greg, look what they did at Fork just recently over there. That was insane, the number of fish that were caught over there.
And, you think about it, like, look at Fork. Fork went through a fish kill where the fish were, wiped out.
Yeah.
And, now it's back to like it was during the heyday, like when it started.
Yeah.
These are older reservoirs now. Think about like Toledo Bend, even Caddo. These are not new lakes. Like, of course, all new lakes are good. They explode, the ground's fertile, but these are old reservoirs now are producing these giant fish. They're also, look at this. Not only are they producing better fish than they had before, the fishing pressure by far, there are more fishermen out there now than there have ever been before.
Yeah.
You just don't show up at any of these lakes at the boat ramps. The boat ramps are full. It's just, there's something, it's that perfect storm deal. Something's going on. I know, and a lot of this is controlled by Mother Nature. I hate to say this. Our Department of Wildlife and Fisheries is doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. But these things cannot be controlled. What's happening, Mother Nature is taking care of that. It's not any outside force. It's just everything is lining up. The whole country's like that now. You go to a place now and catch you 15 pounds. I don't even want to weigh in.
I will.
But everybody talks about global warming, and they're looking to try to pin it down what's causing it. And I have yet to hear anybody say what I think has caused global warming. They want to blame it on a can of hairspray.
You want to blame it on gas, and I
do not want to blame it on gas. Out of the car, out of me, either one.
That's what I'm talking about. Out of you. Yeah.
Let me tell you what's causing global warming.
Come on,
this is going to be good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You think I'm going to say something stupid?
Yeah.
Concrete.
Huh?
Concrete.
You think?
Absolutely.
Really?
An airplane pilot can fly, in a small plane can fly over Dallas or even a smaller town, and when he gets over the town during the summer, the heat waves will rise his plane significantly. When they get past it, it cools and they will drop down.
Really?
The massive amount of concrete is what's holding the heat and causing our air temperature to stay higher.
All right, we're going to let you be the final vote on this one. In or out on that one?
Now compare that to
I ain't any smarter. I ain't even smart enough to figure any of that, what's causing anything. But all I know is that we live on a planet that, if you look back in history, has changed like this for eons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we go through cycles.
We just go through cycles, and regardless if it's concrete or whatever. And honestly, if you think about that, it makes a lot of sense. There's more concrete on the
more concrete than there is hairspray.
So can we put you down on record as saying Mike's full of it? That's not the answer.
He's saying that
I'm not. I'm just a bass fisherman.
Well, you're one of the very best out there, brother.
On that.
Okay, now question. Because of that, and because you're seeing these fisheries so great, being a Louisiana boy from Gonzales, I mean, when all of a sudden you look at the schedule for the year, and you're looking at these 10 tournaments or these 15 tournaments that you're going to fish over the year, will you be more drawn to a river or a reservoir?
Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, MidwayMarinaStMaurice.com, or call 318-646-0097. Natchitoches, Louisiana is known for its rich history, and when you talk car buying, Natchitoches Ford has the distinction of selling the very first Ford automobiles in Louisiana. That means they have been satisfying customers for a long time. Friendly people who will make sure you have a great car buying experience. Their no high pressure and hassle-free sales staff will do their best to offer you the best service possible when buying that new car or truck. Family owned and operated, Calvin Braxton Sr. and Jr. want to invite you to stop by and see the guys who started it all in Louisiana car buying at Natchitoches Ford Lincoln, just off the Highway 1 bypass in Natchitoches, or call them at 318-352-3677.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. We've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? That's like wearing your high school letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
Honestly, I probably prefer the reservoirs. Typically, the fishing's better.
Yeah.
I say that. There are some all the Tennessee River is the best it's ever. It takes 20-plus pounds every day on all that fishery, but you can't really call it a river. When I think about a river, I think about like the Red River, which I really like. I really like the Red River, the Arkansas River. Those are more river. They fluctuate a lot. The Mississippi, they fluctuate up and down. Those are more river systems. Now, we go to, take Lake Guntersville. Yeah, it's the Tennessee River, but it's a fairly stable reservoir.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about the reservoirs are you're more apt to find a spot that holds enough fish, to win over 4 days.
Yeah. Are they easier to pattern in the reservoirs versus a river system?
Well, the biggest thing is on all these reservoirs, it's easier for me to practice. I can cover the whole reservoir in 2.5 days.
Gotcha.
You can ride around and you're not shutting down, idling into a backwater. You know, the deal is on a river, if you don't have a bunch of experience on that particular river, it's so easy to burn up all your time looking for the right place. Where on a reservoir, you can run a pattern. On a river, you're always looking for a spot.
Yeah.
Even though more tournaments are one off a spot, say even on a reservoir, it's easier to develop a pattern where you'll have a good finish. On a river, it's all about the spot. You're not fishing a point here and a point there and that type of deal.
He's right.
You know, Greg,
you get to a place and commit to it.
You just brought up something that I really hadn't even considered, especially fishing the elite. You not only have to find a spot, you got to find a spot that'll hold up for 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really hard to do that on a river. I'll tell you this, it's just hard to do that fishing shallow. It's hard to come up with enough fish to win in 4 days fishing one area, fishing shallow, because just not as many sheer numbers of fish are in the area, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, deep water, a whole bigger numbers of fish, wadded up on one place or whatever. It's hard to win shallow. It's hard to win shallow because our anglers are so good, too, because it's hard to find a place shallow that you don't have any company.
And now that you've created that unstoppable monster Van Dam, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. Well, it's just not him anymore. There's about 8 or 10 guys out there like that are just, all, I guess, coming of age or whatever it is. And, well, I tell you, it's impressive. It's fun to sit back and watch to see what they're going to catch next. If you just look at the weights, the average weights now, take this, for example. We just recently fished a tournament on the Arkansas River. It took better than 16 pounds a day to get a check.
Wow.
To finish 50th place now, to get a check took 16 pounds a day. Used to, on most river systems, you caught 16 pounds a day, you win.
And what was that? George Cochran, back 25 years ago, won on the Arkansas River, won the Classic up there with like 11 pounds a day or 9 pounds a day, something like that. It was one of the lowest weights.
No. Clun.
Rick Clun.
That was Rick Clun. I apologize. Yeah.
With 75 pounds.
Yeah.
They were weighing 7 fish, and he was catching 25, right at 25 pounds a day in 3 days. But
the only time that worse than that was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was brutal.
Yeah.
Well, I won the SLW championship at Pittsburgh in 4 days with 24 pounds and 6 ounces.
Wow.
4 days.
4 days.
And I caught 11 pounds and 13 ounces one of those 4 days to make up that 24 pounds.
He averaged 6 pounds a day, basically.
Wow. All right, question for you. What's next in the world of electronics? Because I honestly believe that between the GPS and all the maps and everything that you guys have, you're able to do so much more homework before you ever get to the water. What's next in that world? What do you think is just around the corner?
Man, I keep thinking it's going to be some type of deal where you just turn the screen on and you'll watch a video of what's under you.
Yeah.
I can't foresee that not being, that's not too far out.
Yeah.
I can't see that being very far out. Just the way that things are now, from the down scan, the structure scan, the Navionics chip, our units will pretty much do all of that now. I'll tell you one thing I do foresee. Fishing is a cycle. Goes around, everything just goes around in a cycle. The average angler now we had deep water gurus, guys that, spent hours and hours, finding that all sorts of stuff. Now, because of all that stuff is so good, it is making offshore, there's a lot more fishing pressure offshore to me than there is shallow now. I foresee that coming in a cycle where just because of sheer fishing pressure out deep, eventually shallow will become the deal again. I just see that happening because I spent the last month on the Tennessee River, and between the anglers and the local anglers fishing, you can hardly find a spot to fish offshore. And that's become the deal everywhere. That's what everybody wants to do, whether it's a weekend guy, tournament angler, or whatever. Because of our electronics are so good, everybody's going out there. Mm-hmm. And what it's doing, it's leaving miles and miles of shoreline untapped.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He's right.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I want to say one of my BASS magazines that came in, it was either the actual magazine or the little pamphlet. I don't remember what they call Bass Times.
Bass Times.
One of those. It had a couple of pictures from one of the tournaments, and there were probably 13, 15 anglers within, 1 frame.
One camera shot.
One frame of the camera.
Yeah.
And you're all essentially 20 feet apart from each other. I mean, is that commonplace?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's most of the time when the fish are deep now, it is very commonplace. It's very seldom does anybody find a school of fish out by themselves. Most of the time, they're at least sharing it with 3 or 4 other boats, sometimes as many as 20. I mean, we just finished up Bass Fest at Chickamauga, and I mean, it was insane. I'll tell you this, I had came from another event, so I missed the first day of practice, and I got there on the second day and unloaded, and I said, well, I'm just going to run the lake and look at it. And all the offshore fishing, or most of it, was on the lower end of the lake, and I rode for maybe between the local anglers and our guys. I mean, you just be running up the lake, and when you get to one of those places and you can see it on your map, the place where the fish should be, there's 7, 8 boats.
Wow.
Now, this is in practice, not during the tournament. This is during practice. So I just ran till I ran out of boats, and when I ran out of boats, I started fishing.
Wow.
You know, and that's, and had a decent tournament. You know, wasn't around to fish to win the event, but still, I'm one of those people. It hurts me. It's hard for me to fish in a group.
Now,
because in my mind, I believe when you're in a group like that, you really cut down on your chances of winning. You don't have to be on as many fish if you're not sharing them with someone else.
Right. Now, Greg, what about tempers? I remember years ago that was frowned upon. The guy get on the spot and somebody comes in there on him, and how is that handled now?
That'd be, a rules.
Well, I'm going to tell you, now that's another thing that's changed. I mean, now most of our guys are all, pretty good guys. If they show up on a place, it's because they found it too.
Yeah.
And, but there's occasionally you still have that, but there's still guys out there that run that bent pole pattern because they can just run down the lake and you see 7 or 8 boats sitting there, you can say, well, I can just roll over there and tell them, yeah, I found it too. There's already 7 or 8 of them there. So there's that breed of fisherman is out there. I will tell you that guy does exist. But in our field, most everybody's pretty good. If they're bunched up like that, it's because they all found it. They're all that good. I mean, I'm just saying that it's hard. You put a school of fish out there that they can run over with their electronics and graph them, I guarantee somebody's going to find them.
Well, that's what's impressed me with That's what's impressed me with the Major League Fishing. When you guys go to lakes, and it amazes me how quick y'all are able to break a lake down, and just all of a sudden within 2 hours, y'all are on fish. And I'm like, that's insane.
Oh. Hey, I used to watch Columbo solve a murder in an hour.
Without electronics.
Yeah. So, that's for the luxury of television, too. Greg Hackney, our guest.
That's the cool thing about Major League Fishing is because nobody has any waypoints. You don't even know where you're going till we don't even know what lake we're going to until we get to the boat ramp. You're riding with a guy that drives you out there, and you roll up, and they go, this is where you're fishing. So, it's the purest form of the sport. It's just a real even playing field, that we're on.
Huh. I absolutely. We had Shelly on last week, who was one of the co-hosts, and absolutely just a great interview, great girl, and we were trying to get her to give us some dirt on some of you guys, but she wasn't.
The only one she would talk bad about was Greg Hackney. You heard of him?
She said she had pictures.
Yeah, that's what she said. Oh, he got real quick. This interview's over now.
No denial.
So, Greg, when is that the toughest part of your job? Is you're rolling all over the country. There's a family back home in Gonzales. There's mom and dad, and there's the ins and outs. Bills got to get paid. Is that the toughest part?
Yeah, for me, the toughest part is traveling. Just being away from home, and I get kind of, I never get. I'll tell you this. I never get burnt out on the fishing. I can get up and fish every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like that since before I could remember. I still love to fish as much as I ever have, but I'll tell you something, I get burnt out on the travel. After a couple weeks, at times this year, I've gone 4 weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time, and that's really hard on me. I don't know if it isn't harder on me than it is my family, because I just get homesick,
mm-hmm.
And that's probably the only part that, I'll never get used to that.
Yeah.
It was probably easier before I had a family, honestly, on the being gone. Because I like to come home and just hang out with my family. I just don't get to spend much time at home. I do look forward to deer season every year, man. I'll tell you what I do like. We typically, we start the 1st of February. We quit by November. The deer rut in Mississippi where I deer hunt at hits in about the 2nd week of December. I like to spend December and January deer hunting, and I'm ready to go fishing again. But the fishing never gets old. It's just the traveling and, you know, the being gone from home. That part does burn me out. And there's a couple times this year, I hate to say it, I just got to where, you know, I didn't want to be there. You know, I wanted to be home. And I guess if I didn't feel that way, I probably wouldn't be right. But I do hate that. But occasionally, like, I've been home now for, you know, the last 8 or 9 days, and I have really enjoyed it.
Well, Greg, also I want to compliment your outdoor TV program. You do a wonderful job with that. I watch it every week. It's just a great show, and you guys are so versatile. You cover the gamut from deer hunting to fishing to saltwater. I mean, you guys really do a wonderful job with your show.
Well, you know that the Louisiana Sportsman TV show, for me, that's a fun deal because we do a lot of fun things. I never know what we're going to do next. Like we're through filming for 2014, and we'll soon, you know, be started on 2015, and got a lot of fun stuff. And the cool thing about it is, Jared Serenay is the guy who produces the show, and he's got a lot of great ideas, and he never lets it get stale. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we started off with a hog hunt where we were, you know, hunting hogs with knives, and, you know, this year we started off a hog hunt. We're hunting them out of an airboat. I don't know what's next, but we're always changing and evolving and doing new shows, and, you know, it's been a lot of fun. We do some bass fishing. We do some red fishing, trout fishing, a little bit of offshore, and I like it because it's different. It kind of breaks the monotony, you know, of doing the same thing, and next year looks like we're going to have another fun season. It has been a fun deal. It has been a fun deal for me. And the other cool thing about it is I can do it all within a couple hours of the house, and that's pretty awesome.
Well, just make sure, Greg, if you ever have Cliff Crochet on, that you got an interpreter, because he is pure coon ass. You can.
No, I had a guy the other day. That's the funny thing. I was at a tournament. We were at Chickamauga at Bass Fest, and a guy came over, and he wanted me to autograph his hat for his grandkids, and he goes, he goes, it's a funny thing. He goes, I just spoke to Cliff Crochet, now I'm over speaking to you, and he goes, you're both from Louisiana, but y'all don't sound anything alike. I was like, dude, I think we're from a different planet. I think it's a different planet type deal.
Yeah.
Cliff's a lot of fun, dude. He's a funny cat. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth next.
Hey, Greg Hackney, thank you, brother. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity.
And I hope you'll come back with us again. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're making us all so proud here in Louisiana, brother.
Well, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you get to Shreveport, you got an open mic anytime you want to come in here, sit in with us.
Okay, I will.
All right, go into Office Depot and get us some printer cartridges.
All right, man. Later, Greg.
Greg Hackney, BASS Elite Pro. Let me tell you what, one of the finest representatives of the sport of bass fishing that Louisiana could have ever hoped for.
No doubt.
You know, really, if you're do what I get to do sometime, be involved with BASS and FLW and some of the people, you hear behind the scenes some grumbling sometime about certain anglers.
Yeah. Right.
Never heard a bad word about Greg Hackney.
No.
From anglers or public, anybody.
Well, they're all just ticked off at him that he's made Kevin Van Dam what he is now. You know, if they could get him to stop that, they'd be all right.
Lord. Him and Swindle.
Hey, on the way, more hooking up and tracking down. You got to stay around to find out what's going to happen. It's next, hooking up and tracking down, 11:30, The Tiger.
Hello, I'm Troy Umbehagen. We at Natchitoches Nursing and Rehabilitation proudly support and watch TV17's local programming.
Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452.
You're watching KNTS Digital 19 in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only full-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
We love it. It's exciting.
Esto es vida.
We wear it to be safe.
We're teaching our kids about safe boating.
We all love this life.
Wear it and love the life. This message brought to you by the National Safe Boating Council.
Too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and your heating and air conditioning system is burning holes in your paycheck? You need to call Luke at Guy Heating and Air. Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as traps, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge.
This is Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Santone Lures, the Red River Waterway, and Vicious Fishing Line. Get vicious with the fishes. Now back to the guys who set the standard in outdoor radio, just not very high. Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and Mike Eccles.
Got to keep that bar low.
Well, if we set the standard.
I'm just telling you. Now, I will tell you who set the standard. Paul Davis set the standard.
You know, for all your farm and garden supplies, go up there and see Paul's Farm and Garden on North Market in Shreveport. That's in between downtown Shreveport and North Hearn on North Market. Paul and his knowledgeable staff will answer all your gardening questions and make sure you have what you need to grow an awesome garden or that summer food plot for old Mr. Big Buck. That's Paul's Farm and Garden, a proud dealer of Purina products and Diamond Dog Food also, and Victor. Give them a call at 318-425, easy to remember, 2222. 425-2222.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna excuse myself from this interview.
You got 22?
No. No. Man, we got a game warden on.
He's not a game warden.
Well, he's not.
This is a smart guy.
Oh, this is smart. He's not. Mike Woods is on the phone now. And Mike, you're not a game warden?
Definitely not a game warden.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to you then.
For a living.
Okay.
He's one of these federal guys.
He said now you're not Mike Woods that they named Mike Woods Park after, are you?
No, that's the good Mike Wood.
Okay.
Mike is director of inland waterways, freshwater fisheries.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
So Mike, this all started. We saw an article. I want to say it's been about 3 weeks ago in the Bassmaster magazine that in South Carolina they were doing some eradication of the cormorants. And we've talked about this for years around here. You can't hardly catch a 2.5 pound bass, especially like out of Toledo Bend where you got a lot of open, expansive water. But you can't hardly catch fish that doesn't have a big old ripped place on his side where he survived a cormorant attack. And so we're wondering, is the possibility that what they've just done, elimination of almost 12,000 cormorants on Santee Cooper, is that possible in Louisiana?
Well, the question's a little broad, so let me kind of break it down just a little bit.
Okay.
First off, what they're doing is not eradication. And I know it sounds like it's parsing words, but they're carrying out part of a depredation order. And the difference is eradication means try to get rid of them. And this is the farthest from that. This is almost like management, like you do mallards.
Okay.
There's an allocation of a certain percentage that someone is allowed to take, and what they're trying to do is direct focus on areas where they're causing problems. In this case, the cormorants are obviously a nuisance to anglers and a threat to fisheries, and so they're trying to direct focus on them to remove them in certain areas to eliminate that as a problem. Now, they did remove. I guess you could say that they had a successful season. They had originally 800 folks kind of qualified, 400 participated, and they killed over 11,000 cormorants. But if you really break it down, these two lakes up there are huge. One is 110,000 acres, the other 60,000 acres. So they killed a bird per 15 acres. So the net effect is really actually pretty small, much more psychological, I think, than actual.
Okay. So what you're saying is they really didn't even make a dent in it. And I think I'm gonna speak for the majority of anglers of Louisiana when I say, if all of a sudden the cormorants mysteriously developed some kind of a disease and every one of them died except for 6 that might be in a state zoo somewhere, I'd be okay with that.
I know that, and they suffer. They look bad. They're ugly. They sound bad. They leave a big mess on trees. They just look like a bad character. But to some extent, and now I'm with you. I'm an angler too. I don't like them. They're a nuisance, but I have to respect that they're at least they're an animal that's taken a niche that's being offered.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, let's kind of go back a lot of years. They weren't anywhere close to the numbers that they are now back in the 50s and 40s and all. And then, of course, they got hit by DDT, and their numbers went down to what they would consider to be threatened or imperiled. The DDT went away, and they came back stronger than ever. And the reason is the impoundments. That's the difference in what there were in the 40s and what there are now. These impoundments are basically cormorant feeding stations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they make their way from impoundment to impoundment. The eating's good, and they get fat and sassy. And, it's really not a lot we can do unless we change the habitat, and I certainly don't want to do that.
Hey, Mike, this is Mike Eccles here. I appreciate you coming on. I got a couple questions for you. First off, is a cormorant considered a migratory bird?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know we have a big influx during the winter, but I don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, where do they come from?
And
South America?
Where'd they spend the winter? Are they moving down here to maybe avoid ice? Is that the reason they migrate?
Well, for the same reason that other waterfowl, ducks, and that type of stuff do. They spend a lot of time up in the Northland, Lake Champlain, Canada, and all up there. And like ducks, they come south for the winter.
Okay. Another question. How many pounds of fish a day will the average cormorant consume?
There are some variations on that, but I think the average is probably accepted at about a pound of fish a day per bird, maybe more, depending on their mood and the conditions, I guess you could say.
So is that about their body weight? I've heard their body weight. They eat their body weight every day in food, in fish.
Probably so. Probably so.
Okay. Well, shoot, I forgot my question. But
the effects on our fishery?
Well, I was gonna say, what is the number one? Are they particular about what they eat? And also, how many approximately of those birds pass through the state of Louisiana each year? And I'm just trying to kind of get a grip on how many pounds of fish we're losing.
Okay. And I wish I could help you with that. I don't know.
Okay.
I could probably check with our waterfowl guy. He could get close. I know they do some estimates and stuff like that on waterfowl, but they're just estimates. Let's just say many thousands.
Yeah.
And let's just say that there certainly is an effect on fisheries. But I think the bottom line is, are they doing damage to our fisheries? Are we suffering from them? And from just that perspective, with no knowledge of how many there are actually, I can't say that we've documented a decline in our fisheries. I mean, heck, those things have been coming down for years now.
Yeah.
And we still have great fisheries. I'm very proud of our fisheries here, despite the cormorant. So I don't think I could point to anything and say that we're in bad shape as a result of anything, much less cormorants.
Mike, do they target any particular forage as far as like bass or shad or?
Yeah.
Do they target certain things?
They do, and it's not by design, other than I mean, they can eat what goes down that gullet, and they can't do like a snake as much and stretch their mouth wide, so they're limited in terms of fish girth. So threadfin shad bear the brunt of their predation. Small channel catfish, they're kind of long and lean. They go down good, too. And other, bluegill, as long as they're small. But the larger fish, the ones like you talked about that have the cuts, and, of course, red ear sunfish, bluegill, larger bass, they get pecked and they get cut, but they don't get eaten. They just can't go down the cormorant's throat.
Okay, question here. And this one's of a personal nature. As a private landowner, I got a pond on my place, and I do a lot to see to it that pond stays as stable as it could possibly be, trying to constantly make sure that the fish are in good shape, that they've got plenty of forage in there. All of a sudden, I walk outside, and I've been invaded. The cormorants are everywhere on my place. Now, you mentioned depredation a little while ago. Yeah. What can I do as a private landowner? Because I know what I can do in regards to coyotes or hogs or anything that's, even crows I can harvest through depredation. What can I do as a private landowner to say, hey, I got an issue here and I want them off. I've spent an awful lot of money in stocking that pond, and I don't want to lose all of my investment to a stupid bird like this.
Right. All right. Well, the examples that you listed, the coyotes and crows and stuff like that, are not federally protected migratory birds, and that's the big distinction between the protection that's afforded to these things and those others that are not widely regarded as depredators. This is too, but you'd be limited to federal guidelines, which means about the only thing you'd be able to do as a private citizen is go out there and try to scare them off.
Yeah.
Scare shells, stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as actually killing them, that you'd be in violation of federal law.
So there's no way, there's no permit application process?
Yes, there is a permit application, depredation permit for cormorants. Yes. Am I right? There is, because I know somebody that just achieved it and is using it.
So, Mike, how would I apply for that?
Well, that goes through various state agencies, and our department, Secretary Barham, has been afforded through this depredation order, through the Fish and Wildlife. They allocate that authority to various agencies. Secretary Barham is our agency head, and he would consider those applications for permits. They would certainly have to be something that would, in your case, for example, clear need for killing as opposed to harassing and that type of thing.
Now, is this something you have to go before them and prove your case that, video or whatever, show proof of the damage?
Well, I don't think video would be, obviously if you had that, then that would be great, but actually I haven't been involved in that aspect of it. So, but I can say, because it's federally protected, it's multi-agencies, multi-states, it has to be a pretty compelling case.
And, I know for a fact that, if you want to apply for a permit for Australian grass carp, you've got to have one of the agents out. He's got to size everything up and do a study of the amount of grass that's taken over your place, and before they can even approve the permit there.
For the grass carp.
I have to assume somebody is going to put eyes on the situation before they would ever approve that application.
I'd go with that, but again, I'm not in a position I don't do the permit thing, so couldn't speak to it very well.
Okay,
Mike Wood's on the phone with us again.
Okay, the cormorant is it's a migratory game bird, not migratory bird.
Yeah.
Just like a duck.
Well, yeah, it's protected federally just like a duck. It is a migratory waterfowl.
Okay, we have way more cormorants than we do ducks right now. They're not in danger of being extinct. They are thriving well. We're allowed to kill ducks. We're allowed to kill geese. Is the only thing stopping us from being able to shoot 6 cormorants a day the fact that we don't pick them up and eat them, and it would just really look bad if we just shot them and left them laying there?
Well, again, now we're talking about some opinions, but let me give you mine for what it's worth.
That's what we call for.
Yeah, it would be up to the Secretary's opinion as to whether this will be a good thing or a bad thing, and some of the stuff you mentioned definitely kind of plays into the mix there. killing something and not eating it. My parents always taught me to do a little bit different than that. But it's in the case of South Carolina, for example, they do require that you pick up each of those birds and you do remove them from the area. And that's just good sense. You don't want to give all hunters a bad name,
right?
From just that type of thing. And it's not that you can't eat them. It's simply that there's some issues with regard to appearance. There is one other thing too that would probably be very different from South Carolina and here, and that is that I could never see a way where we would allow hunters to hunt out of a moving vehicle. In this case, an outboard hunting out of a moving boat for safety precautions. That would trump everything. And so I've talked to our colonel here, and that's one of the first things he said is just no way we would, in good conscience, allow our hunters to, that safety hazard. And I know that they do allow that to some extent in South Carolina. They allow what's called rallying, which, I can see several boats maybe kind of slowly bunching up the cormorants and then shooting into the
Hey, you let the hog problem keep getting up there. The Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries will buy the gas.
Well, I know. But anyway, that is a difference that I think would affect participation. Not to mention the fact you'd have to buy a steel shot to hunt these things, and that would get old. But if you're just stationary and you're trying to call one or trying to wait on one to swim by, that get dull real quick.
Yeah. Well, probably if you could make a good gravy with them.
Yeah, a good roux. There you go.
Hey, be a big difference. Mike, thank you. You really shined a whole lot of light on this situation. So, in your estimation, odds are we're probably not going to get to see a depredation program like what they've seen in South Carolina.
I wouldn't expect it. I think that they probably were forced to that. I think if you talk to just a slimy old fish biologist up there, he'd say that, they're bad, he don't like them. But he really couldn't, in all honesty, say that they're actually causing damage, overall damage to their fish population.
Well, I tell you what, they will hurt a duck hunt. Now, they will hurt a duck hunt. There are so many of them on Lake Bistineau that you'll be set up calling ducks in, and waves of cormorant will come over and mess the ducks up as they're trying to come in, get low enough to light, and they'll pick up because they won't come down through the cormorant.
Really?
And I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds continuously coming over. I've had as high as 6 bunches of ducks in one morning flared because waves of cormorant would come over too low for the ducks to come down. They'd be coming down to the decoys, and they'd flare and take off.
Wow.
That's aggravating.
Wow.
I've got the steel shot. I don't mind wasting it on them. I don't care.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you, brother.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Mike Woods, let me tell you what now.
Good guy. Very just
awesome. And and when you listen to somebody like that, obviously he's having to argue both sides of the coin.
He is.
And, he sees pros and cons on both of those. And you know what? It's guys like that we have in charge for a reason. Right. It's because you and we would be too passionate about it, and we think, let's kill them all. Let God sort them out.
I feel sorry for Mike Woods. He's not allowed to come on and just give his opinion.
Yeah,
and that's all we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, we don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, what should you be doing during the dog days of summer?
Downtime.
Besides laid up on the couch in the AC. We'll talk next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30, The Tiger.
Some things just stayed the same, but not Toledo Town and Tackle. Still the best selection of tackle on the bin. Zoom, dive with Gene LaRue and Santone. Now double the size of the original store, you have twice as much to choose from. With a new deli serving the best hamburgers, pizza, and soft drinks, you'll find something that's sure to fill your belly. They also have a great selection of tees and polo-style shirts. So stop in and treat yourself to the best tackle box on the bin. Toledo Town and Tackle on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake. Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, MidwayMarinaSt.Maurice.com, or call 318-646-0097.
Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchez, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchez.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's, and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
This segment of Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger, presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Mr. Twister, and Lake Fork guide Johnny Geis, the only guide you'll need at Lake Fork. Back to you, Gary.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us again this afternoon. It's Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger. Gary McCoy, along with Steve Graff, our Ranger Pro Staffer, Iowa Rod Pro Staffer, and the king of the Ram Slam. He is Mike Eccles in the studio. And, you know, I mean,
I'm the big goat head.
That's what I'm talking. And, you know, average temperature right now, what would you say, 93, 94?
Yeah, it's getting warm now, dude.
And like Johnny Geis earlier in the show was telling us, the water temperature on Lake Fork has increased 3 degrees, the average here in the last few days, went from 83 to 86. And it won't be long, it'll be 90 degrees on the water. And so the dog days of summer aren't far. No, I mean we're within that final stretch of the real
we're in that
heat of
window
summer
right now. Yeah.
And so there's a number of things that you start entertaining. What should I be doing right now?
Right, and we're gonna start for the hunters. The fisherman's really downtime. A lot of people don't like fishing in the heat of the summer.
Yeah,
and that's kind of a downtime period. But you and I both know a lot of us do fish up at least till noon.
Yeah.
So let's really concentrate on the hunters right now, because that's where the dog days and the downtime is right now for those guys. Check your gear and replace what's old or worn out.
That includes your deer stand.
Exactly.
Wasp. Amen. But you know what? I've gone in and sprayed wasps and put bombs up in the stands this time of the year before, and had to do it again before the season.
It's a little early.
So I usually wait till about September to do that.
Yeah. And now's a good time to check your clothing. Do you have any holes, any tears? You need to replace your pants, your coveralls, whatever you got.
Little hint for you on that. Get one of those great big old Ziploc bags, the kind that you can stick the vacuum cleaner on and suck all the air out.
Oh, yeah.
Put your clothes in that and throw a couple of green pine limbs in there with it when you put it up.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, your stuff is in so much better shape when you pull it out, and it doesn't have that old smell.
That odor, yeah. That's good. Boy, great tip.
See?
Is that an awesome tip, Mike, or what?
Do it all the time.
Hey,
I wanted mine up, threw them on the floor.
They're still there.
Yeah. They smell like pine.
Pine saw where Charlotte's mopping around them. Check your guns and your ammo. Check your guns right now. Make sure they're clean. Make sure you hadn't put them up when they were wet and you got rust spots on them or whatever. Clean your guns up really good right now. Make sure they're ready to go.
Can your rifle cartridges, with today's ammunition, can rifle cartridges last indefinitely if they stay like in the house?
I do not professionally know the answer to that, but I would say yes.
I've been told that if they're in a high moisture content area, high humidity, that over time it can actually get into the shell and mess up the powder.
I've got some paper.
But how long would that take?
I got some paper shells. Shotgun shells.
Oh, I was fixing to say rifle?
No, paper shotgun shells from my grandfather's old 20-gauge double barrel. And just out of curiosity one day, and I'm thinking they were bought at Sears. It's the old Sears.
Wow.
Brand.
Sears and Roebuck.
Yeah. And I got to will one of these shoot?
Yes, they will, Gary.
And it'll shoot. I'm telling you for a fact it'll shoot.
Did it get stronger with age?
Yeah, that sucker. You know, I hadn't shouldered many 20 gauges that'd make you cry, but you dude.
Number 3, make sure your lease agreement is good for the next season and meet with the landowner to discuss any timber management plans, which next week we're going to go into that in great detail.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's something you need to go ahead and be doing now. Look at your lease. What's the plan here? Are they going to clear cut us in November? You know, what's going on? Are they thinning? What they going to be doing?
And you know what? You've been in the timber business for a long time. Sometimes the timber company's idea of thinning isn't exactly what my idea of thinning was, because the timber company told us on our lease in Arcadia, we're going to be thinning over there, and where they were laying it out was right next to my oldest son Buddy's deer stand.
Let me give you an example. Our idea of thinning is the top of my head.
Oh, yeah.
The timber company's is the top of his head. That's it. That's a comparison right there.
Well,
that's really a clear cut.
I drove over and saw it, and they said, they're just going to thin it out, no big deal. And I drove over there, and it's like, wow. I didn't realize there was a house right over there.
Yeah, exactly. Number 4, as Gary already alluded to, check your stands, your duck blinds for repairs. Mike knows all about the duck blind deal. Mike, what would you be doing right now with a duck blind?
Fishing around it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what you going to do? You going to strip all the old brush off?
No. We don't
do that?
We don't strip the old brush off. But I have already been out working on my blind. And
what do you brush with?
I brush with 2 different things. I brush with wax myrtle, which 99% of the people do not know what it is.
I've never heard of it.
It's a myrtle that's out in the woods, wild myrtle.
It's a wax myrtle, and it's the leaves. It turns the same color as cypress needles.
Mm-hmm.
They turn the same red and then orange, but they do not fall off.
Right.
The leaves stay on, so it's not like willow leaves and stuff. So it matches. If you put it on just no more than a week before season opens, it will turn with the cypress trees. However, the cypress tree needles will turn red, and then they will fall off. These will stay on, so you went from matching to be the only thing out there red or orange.
So is it a needle or a leaf?
It's a leaf. It's a leaf, but it still matches. You're the only thing out there. The second half of season, you're the only thing out there with leaves on it, and you're orange, and everything around you is gray. That's the reason I go to Billy Phipps' house and help him with his yard problem, picking up Spanish moss.
Yeah.
I keep at least 2 or 3 bags of Spanish moss. The second half of the season, we put the Spanish moss on the wax myrtle to turn your blind gray.
Billy called me this morning and says say hello to everybody.
I got a question for you. I know it's against the law to cut down a cypress tree, but can you limb one and use those limbs?
Not on the
off the waterway.
Not on the waterbed. No, you cannot remove the Spanish moss from the lake bed out.
Really?
You cannot go out on the lake legally and pull Spanish moss off the tree. You can do it. No. You can do it in your yard on private property. Yeah. So
my wife's Christmas decorations are going to be a little bit off.
You cannot get caught doing this.
All right. Well, I guess we don't have to.
I spent the weekend putting strings on decoys. I'm already doing that.
One more thing, number 5. We'll just do 5 of them today. We'll catch 5 more next week. Make sure your field cameras are in working order.
Best way to do that, go buy new ones. Them jokers, I'm just telling you, they have gotten them priced down now to where it's just stupid to not have 5 or 10 of them.
Yeah, it's great. Put them in your bedroom, and that way you'll see if they're working.
No.
You won't want to do that?
No.
Well, why don't you just get Sherry to send us some pictures?
Then there's proof. And I don't need proof. I'm good there. Stay close. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
See how I'm thinking like y'all now? Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452. Some things just stay the same, but not Toledo Town and Tackle. Still the best selection of tackle on the bin. Zoom, dive with Gene LaRue and Sam Tone. Now, double the size of the original store, you have twice as much to choose from. With a new deli serving the best hamburgers, pizza, and soft drinks, you'll find something that's sure to fill your belly. They also have a great selection of tees and polo-style shirts. So stop in and treat yourself to the best tackle box on the bin. Toledo Town and Tackle on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. And we've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
Here's your Mr. Twister. Best times to fish for this weekend. Folks, we're headed for a full moon, so that means a good midday bite. But it also means a great time to night fish as well. This Friday, starting at 10:41 a.m. till 1:41 p.m. On Saturday, 11:43 a.m. till 2:43 p.m. And on Sunday, 12:43 p.m. till 3:43 that afternoon. That's your Mr. Twister. Best times to fish. Catch more fish more often.
Hooking Up and Tracking Down is on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Toledo Town and Tackle, Gamakatsu Hooks, and Natchitoches Power Sports, your local North Louisiana power sports dealer. Now back to the boys who have more outdoors knowledge than Daniel Boone and Grizzly Adam combined. Steve, Gary, and Mike.
You know, I love it when the animal wildlife activity is occurring in that window, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah. Seems like that's just, I don't know. That's when I was fishing competitively. Seemed like if I could get fish biting in that 4-hour window, man, that's when, I was strongest. And, and nowadays, I'm thinking honestly that after Thanksgiving this year, I'm probably not even going to deer hunt in the morning. I'm probably not even going to go out until 10 and then stay in.
Hunter would be the first guy to tell you. Yeah. He's killed some of his biggest deer from 10 to 2.
Yeah. Just a great
lot of
window.
Guys are getting off stand and going in.
Amen. Jack Rothell on the phone. Of course, he's always on the phone with Tim Fletcher. Never calls us because he doesn't like Mike Eccles, is what I heard.
Man, I love Mike Eccles.
Me and Jack I'd probably go back further with Jack than I do either one of y'all. Easy.
Well,
way easy.
Yeah.
Is that something we need to be talking about?
Now, me and Jack go way back now. We go back to the 80s.
Man, we go back to when fire trucks still had Dalmatians on them.
There you go.
I've known Jack since 1975.
That's longer than me then.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew his daddy.
Okay, so Jack Rothell's on the phone, and you're wondering, okay, you got Jack on the phone. What's he going to talk about?
Jack worked for the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Department, and at one time was on the pistol shooting team and top-notch pistol shooter. And we talked about buying a shotgun, how to fit a shotgun. Then we went with a rifle. All of this with Matt Spoon from Max Prairie Wings. And we missed the pistol.
Yeah.
And you asked a question the other day about what type of pistol to buy for your wife.
Right.
And I said, cat pistol or water gun. I don't want a woman with a real life. But so I said, I don't know anybody that's any better with a pistol than Jack. Let's call him up, get him to come on and answer some of these questions. And then one of the questions was, and you floored me on this, what pistol to buy for a woman, Jack. But the other one was, why are most of us so bad, whether we want to admit it or not, of shooting a pistol?
We are.
Why are most of us so bad? Well, let's go to that one first. Because we practice hunting. We don't practice self-defense. I mean, you go out there and you sight your rifles in. And the other big thing is most of our rifles, and not the shotguns, but they have scopes on them.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing is the differential between the front sight and the rear sight. You have a big margin for error when your rear sight and your front sight's 36 inches apart versus 4 inches apart on a 2.5-inch revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you have to have arms like Jack Rothell, like Papa, to shoot a really good pistol, to be a really great pistol shooter?
Well, it always helps. But it's one of those things. It's the thing is you can let a gun recoil. As long as you let it recoil the same way every time. It's just like whether you're pitching, whether you're casting a bait or whatever, you want to do it the same way every time. It just becomes repetitive. And it's like everything else. It goes back, it takes practice.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said yesterday follow through.
Oh yeah,
follow through with a pistol shooting is just like
in the world.
Yeah. And I never, although it's essential with a bow, I never put it with shooting a pistol.
Okay, now, well, when you say follow through, when I think shotgun, like if I'm shooting quail and the quail come off, they come off the ground, I'm following through with the gun. What does that mean with a pistol, though?
You actually, you're keeping the gun downrange, and you keep your eye on the target. You follow through with the shot all the way through. So many of us, so many times with a pistol, people pull the trigger, and that's the end. They don't actually, they let the gun get away from them.
They don't finish
and
the
that's
shot.
what's called muzzle flip.
Oh.
And that's what causes those rounds to go high, is because one time we relax our hand, one time we relax our wrist. We don't do it the same way every time. And it comes from the fact that we don't practice as much.
That's true.
Okay, Jack, you mentioned recoil a second ago. My wife is 5'2", 100 pounds, soaking wet.
Gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So my question is, see, you just got brownie points. My question is, for a little woman like that, I want her to be able to defend herself. I want to be able to buy her something that I know for a fact that she's going to be able to handle, because the recoil won't be so bad that she's overmatched on that. But at the same time, I don't want to go buy her a 22 or a BB pistol, because when she needs to fire that weapon, I want her to be able to stop her assailant. So, what am I shopping for?
Well, a while ago you had Greg Hackney on there, and he said fishing is circular. We fish shallow waters, then we fish deep waters, and then we're going to go back to the shallow waters. Well, we all grew up with the revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And, law enforcement and everybody else switched over to the semi-automatics because of the high capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, law enforcement trains every day with them. They carry them every day. They're used to them. But we don't. And it goes back to the KISS rule, keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has a revolver. I have a revolver on my bedside. Because when you wake up, do you really want to rack that slide back and find the safety, or do you just want to point and shoot?
Yeah, good point.
And but the problem is, I go back to the practice, and I just looked up some things after Mike called me, and practice is hard these days. You go out with a 38 round, 38 revolver, and go out. You want to go out and shoot 500 rounds. It costs you about $170 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go out and shoot a 40 Smith & Wesson, $220 a day. A 45, $270 a day. But we've still got the 22.
Yeah.
I can go out and shoot 500 rounds of 22 for $50 a day. And I train.
Can't do that often, though. You can't find ammunition.
You can't find ammo. That's the problem.
It's out there, and it's becoming more and more abundant. The crisis period is over. It's the people aren't hoarding like they were. Most of the people that were hoarding have what they need now, and you're seeing the prices drop. But the thing is, I practice with a Smith & Wesson Model 63. It's a 22 stainless steel. My wife carries a Smith & Wesson Model 60, which is a 5-shot stainless steel 38, and by the bedside I have a Smith & Wesson Model 686 357. You worry about something your wife can handle. Let me just tell you what. When push comes to shove, the adrenaline's going to take care of all that recoil factor. But what she has to do is be comfortable with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
The automatics and the semi-automatics, they tend to scare women. They don't know how they work. It's a machine, and they don't understand. The magazines will get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If you go and hit the wrong button on a semi-automatic and your magazine falls out, you've got a paperweight.
Jack, they say the most recognized sound on God's green earth.
Racking of an 870 shotgun.
The racking of an 870 shotgun. They say it is the most recognized sound in the world. That everybody knows that sound.
Yeah.
All right, now universally also, they say that one of the most horrific sights that you'll see of late is when that laser beam hits you on the chest. They don't offer that in most cases on a revolver. You've got to go automatic to be able to have that laser where even in the dark, my wife would be able to fire safely into the assailant. Agree, disagree?
Disagree.
Okay.
All right, most gun battles are 2 to 3 shots, 3 to 5 feet, last 2 to 3 seconds. It's if a gun's pointed at you, the bad guys are going to take off and run and find another battlefield for another day.
That's how long my beaver encounter was.
Yeah, most people, I didn't hit him either. Most people don't want to take a life, and if you'll turn and run, they'll let you go.
Yeah.
You know, it's the thing that we don't do anymore. We don't instinct shoot. We just don't. You know, the old cowboy shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to that. You know, and that comes back again. Practice. Be comfortable with the gun. Be able to point and shoot.
So if you were buying your daughter or your wife their first pistol to start them out with, you're going to go with a revolver.
Absolutely, because it's going to shoot 6 times, which is 3 shots more than the normal gunfight.
Now,
It doesn't matter if it holds 24. If you have a weak wrist and you get a stovepipe on the first shot.
Clarify that,
Right.
Jack.
It takes, when you lock a semi-automatic out, it takes the inertia of the bullet to push the slide back past the magazine and pick up the next round and put it into
the chamber.
back into the chamber.
Right.
Okay. If you take out 30 or 40% of that inertia because you're weak-wristed or your elbows are bent and you buffer the gun, it's just going to come back part of the way and it's not going to completely eject the first round, and it's going to put the second round up on top of it, and it's going to and the empty shell will look like a stovepipe coming out of the top of the gun. Well, now you've got to clear the gun, you know, re-rack it, and get back in the gunfight, where at the minimum a revolver's going to shoot 5 or 6 times, depending on what model you have.
You know, I'm glad that you mentioned, though, you know, the first rule of thumb is probably just run. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, create distance.
Yeah, as quickly as possible. I mean, you know, if a lady could get out of that situation, we just run.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, live to fight another day, and you know the you know, but the thing, if you ask, what would I start my wife off with? A Smith & Wesson 5-shot. I would take it to a reputable gunsmith like Clark's or, you know, whoever in town. Have them bob off the hammer, which means she can pull it out of her purse without it catching on something. And, you know, the other thing is,
what caliber?
It's a 38.
38.
Just shoots a 38. It's 5-shot 38, lightweight. You know, and you know, revolvers are a little bit more expensive than semi-automatics until you start going out and buying the magazines and everything else for them.
Yeah.
And, you know, and to me, I went through the semi-automatic phase, but for home protection and stuff like that, I'm back to the revolver. It just makes sense. It's easier for both sides of the bed to handle. You know, you wake up out of a sleep, you don't want to be having to go through a bunch of, you know, take it off safety, make sure the magazine's in, rack the slide back. Is there one in the chamber or not? You know there's one in the chamber in a revolver.
That's why I got a Judge next to my bed, and I've got it loaded with 410 buckshot. And if I'm woken up from a sleep like that, I don't want to have to take aim. I just want to shoot a bunch of times. I'm going to hit something.
Quickly.
If I jump out of the bed, I don't want the judge involved at all. I mean, I don't want him even witnessing anything.
Well, Jack,
that's right.
We're going to let you go with that comment from Eccles.
I want to say one more thing, and I want to go with Mike Eccles on this. I never thought about it till he said it today. The hottest day of my life ever was touring the Hoover Dam, which has enough cement to go around to put a 4-foot sidewalk around the earth.
Yeah.
Pow, chicka, pow, pow.
See,
I'm right again.
Now you got him thinking he's right.
I'm into the cement and global warming thing.
Yeah.
Now he's going to gloat.
Apparently, Al Gore owns a concrete company somewhere now.
He invented concrete right after.
Al Global's an idiot.
Thank you, Jack Rothell.
Thank you, Jack, for having me.
All right, Jack.
Bye-bye.
Later.
That's all we needed was for Jack to tell Mike he's right. Now we're never going to get him to stop.
Hey, if I agreed with y'all, we'd both be wrong.
There we go.
Stay close.
Yeah, we'll be right back with more Hooking Up and Tracking Down.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's, and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, MidwayMarinaStMaurice.com or call 318-646-0097.
Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchitoches, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
Let's go eat at Honda's Steakhouse and Sushi Bar. They have all of our old favorites, or we could get something a little more exotic, like the Hibachi Grill, conveniently located at 814 Kaiser Avenue.
Hello, I'm Troy Umbehagen. We at Natchitoches Nursing and Rehabilitation proudly support and watch TV17's local programming.
This segment of Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger is presented by the Gear Grabber Lure Hanger System, Midway Marina and Red River Waterway. Find your next outdoor adventure on the beautiful Red River. One more time, here's Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and Mike Eckel.
Welcome back to the final segment, Hooking Up and Tracking Down for this July 9th. Mike Eccles, Steve Graff, Gary McCoy. Real quick, folks, Cypress Knee Outdoors. Sometimes you have to return to your roots where it all started. That's exactly what John Abraham and the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors are doing now as they're going back to their original location at 3J's 4-Way, exit 127 east off I-49. John Abraham is expanding 3J's for Cypress Knee, but he does not want to move everything back to that original location. He wants to get rid of it. He has slashed prices on all hunting and fishing gear, so you can get a great deal right now. So go see John Abraham and the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors, located at the intersection of Highway 6 off I-49, Natchitoches exit, right there next to Burger King.
Okay, we were talking a few minutes ago, and what an incredible show. We had Greg Hackney on today, and I never would have imagined I knew he was a fun cat to watch on TV and stuff like that, but I'd have never imagined he would be that much fun in an Office Depot parking lot on the phone with us. Yeah. I mean, I'd have just that one caught me off guard. Yeah. Johnny Geis killing him again, broke his record, caught 5 fish today while he's doing the segment.
5 fish in 15 minutes.
Yeah, less than 15 minutes. Yeah. And, of course, Jack Rothell just a few minutes ago, no stranger to the radio station, but I had no idea he was that knowledgeable about handgun shooting. Yeah. And so we learned some great stuff on that. But one of the things that we mentioned a few minutes ago was, with the heat of the summer, the dog days being on us right now, some of the things that you need to be doing as a hunter. And one of the things that I saw on the list, and we'll get to more of this list next week, was as a fisherman, this is that time of the year you might want to take in your old rods and reels and, get any repairs done on them. Who does reel repair anymore? You know, back in the day, I just carried everything over to Hal Culpepper, and he took care of it.
He did, but now you go to Bayou Outdoors, go in the back where Big Dave is and Rachel, the cute little dark-headed girl there, and you can take either your rod, Tommy Shuttlesworth, who does custom rods, will repair your rods. You just go in there and give them to Dave. They'll put them behind the counter. Tommy will come by and fix the eyes, whatever you got broke on them, or rewrap them. Yeah, and but also Bubba Ogden, retired Shreveport police officer, comes in there every couple of days and picks up the reels. You want your reels cleaned or repaired? Go in there, give them to Dave or Rachel. They'll put them behind the counter. Bubba will come by, pick them up in 3 or 4 days. They'll call you and say your reels are ready.
See, that's one of the, I bet I've got 15 or 20 old Shimano reels that are laying there, Daiwa reels, a number of things. And most of the time, you just need a worm gear or a paw or both, or you just need somebody to clean them out.
Yeah.
And,
You know one thing I would like to invent? When you're trailering your boat and you got your rods laid on the deck and they're strapped down.
Yeah.
You would be amazed at how much road film your stuff picks up off of that.
No,
I would like to create a cover that you would cover your rod and reels with instead of having to put them in your truck or whatever you got to do. Put them all up.
What do you call those things what do you call those that you put on your rods?
The rod sleeves.
Rod sleeve.
Yeah, rod sleeves are good. But they don't cover the reels.
Sleeves? No, socks.
Rod socks?
Rod socks,
What are they
rod
called?
sleeves. Well,
I thought they played in Boston.
Well, it depends on
rod
what,
socks.
Rod socks?
Depends on what company I
Rod
think you
socks.
buy, whether they're called a sleeve or a sock. Some of them call rod socks, some of them call rod sleeves.
Okay.
So it depends on who you buy.
Hey, let me tell you what now.
But they got a great supply of those at Bayou Outdoors. I bought 5 the other day.
When I first saw those things come out, I said, what another gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's got to be the greatest, because let me tell you what, Steve can reach down into his rod box and grab the bottom rod of 20 rods down there and never get tangled up, never anything.
And you can color coordinate. If all your flipping rods, you want to put the blue.
No,
your spinnerbait rods.
You're such a girl. I swear. You are such a girl.
All your spinnerbait rods have red.
Where is your man card?
What color panties are you wearing right now?
Dude.
I got my black no-shows on today.
See? This is what we have to put
That's
up
why
with.
they make different
You can
colors.
color coordinate. Do you have Paisley?
What team do you hit for? God,
I didn't come on here to be abused today.
Man, you're really you're talking really good sense, and then you lose all credibility. Bam.
You guys just don't understand. I'm
We
going to
were on
have to
a
tackle
roll.
organization with y'all.
How are we ever going to get Greg Hackney back on the show, knowing that he was on the same show?
I guarantee you, Greg Hackney's
with
color.
Tutti Frutti Graham.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Greg Hackney's color coordinated.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway, he wears white underwear.
But just go to
probably,
Bayou.
but everything else is
Just go
color.
to Bayou, and they'll
Yeah,
take
but
care of my wrist.
don't tell them Squeegee Bug here since.
Big Dave will be happy that I told it there are multiple colors.
Yeah.
And they even have
I'm
designs.
sure. He's jumping up and down right now.
Hey, it's like wallpaper. They have different designs.
He's
and
like,
stuff to
oh,
combine.
good. Tinkerbell likes us. Golly.
Hey, I just got a text from my daughter in Monroe.
Yeah.
My
Lisa,
daughter just bought a house in Monroe this week.
well, good. Lisa Robertson, which I think is Alan's wife,
Okay.
just left Tara's house, and she's going to call us.
Hey.
Not today,
Yeah.
but she's going to call us.
Awesome.
Yep.
thought
Lisa
we were-
Robertson.
And Alan's the only one without a beard.
I thought
That's right.
I thought we were stalking her. or
Maybe
something.
the only one that'll call us.
All right. I think it's time for the final word. The final word. Now that we're in the dog days of summer, the sun is enemy number 1. As a kid growing up, we never worried about UV rays and the damage it could do. Today is different. As an outdoorsman, there are several things you can do to protect yourself. Long sleeve shirts. Several outerwear companies make UV protective clothing that not only protects you, but helps keep you cool as well. Wide brim hat will also keep the sun off the ears and neck. But also make sure you apply plenty of sunscreen with a minimum of SPF rating of no less than 50 on those areas that are exposed. Folks, stay safe. May God bless until we meet again with more Hooking Up and Tracking Down.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We believe strongly in supporting the children of America. Our youth programs include American Legion Baseball, Junior Shooting Sports, Boys and Girls State, the Oratorical Scholarship Program, support for scouting, and many others. We support and promote citizenship and integrity in America's future leaders. Go to Legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? It's like wearing your high school letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. And we've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
We love it.
It's so much fun.
It's exciting.
Esto es vida.
Why do I have to wear a life jacket?
We wear it to be safe.
I've got mine on.
We're teaching our kids about safe boating.
Cogí un pescado así de grande.
We all love this life.
Wear it and love the life. This message brought to you by the National Safe Boating Council.
Welcome to this week's Hooking Up and Tracking Down Tip of the Week. I'm Ranger Boat Pro Staffer Steve Graff, and I'd like to show you some tips today for when you hit the bodies of water that the wind conditions are really bad. The big waters like Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn, they are absolutely unbelievable at times on destroying equipment on a boat on windy days. I'm going to give you a few tips right now to show you how to keep from possibly losing your trolling motor as well as your rods and reels. One of the things I carry in my boat, even though most Minn Kotas and all your Motor Guide trolling motors have good lockdown systems, when you get in heavy water, heavy waves, it's nothing for a big wave to come over the boat, knock the trolling motor up out of its, unlock it, and completely take a trolling motor off the boat. I was in a tournament a month ago, 3 trolling motors were knocked completely off of boats. One thing I do, and I always bring, is an extra bungee cord. I take my bungee cord and I'll wrap it around the head of my trolling motor. Like so. I wrap it 2 times and basically just hook the rope to itself. After I've wrapped my trolling motor with my bungee cord, now I'm going to use the pop-up boat tie downs to hook my bungee cord. I simply hook it through the center and it's there. It's not going anywhere. Trolling motor won't leave the boat. It's going to stay right here. It keeps the trolling motor anchored down solid. So that's one of the things that I like to do. And it's just, sometimes it's not necessary, but other times it is. The other thing that's very important, make sure the next time you get ready to head on the water also that your Velcro strap for your trolling motor is in very good shape. You want it to be able to hold the trolling motor head down and lock it sucker down where it will not move, okay? The next thing, one more tip I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna move this out of the way temporarily. Now, also, more rod and reels are lost on rough water. They just pop out of the boat. Ranger makes a rod tie down right here. All you do is clip it in, your rods are safely secured, they're going absolutely nowhere. So make sure when you head on the rough water, make sure you bring a little extra bungee cord, make sure your Velcro strap is in really good shape, and make sure you use your rod tie downs on your boat. That's this week's Hooking Up and Tracking Down Tip of the Week.
Good morning, this is Sheriff Victor Jones. I need your help. I need your help to help me keep you safe. One of the ongoing problems, you know, technology is good, but one of the problems that we see, an increasing problem, is texting while driving. I encourage all of you to help us to keep you safe by not texting while driving. Thank you.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter and fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
You're watching KNTS Digital 19 in Natchitoches, Louisiana.